2019 Mountain Dew GSL Season 2. Codex Renaissance.
Rip Rogue.
The upsets
Rip,
continue.
Rip. That's it. That's all I got. You want to say something before the game starts?
No, I'm good. Let's do it. Game 1.
Guys, it's Fantasy versus Leenock. Now, Fantasy already beat Rogue, so he's supposed to beat Leenock. I really want to know what exactly, where does Leenock evaluate Fantasy at? Does Leenock think he needs to do some kind of crazy rush?
Okay, so when they played last season, the same group, Fantasy did end up beating Leenock in a pretty close series, but it was like the first time we saw professionally done Battle Mech with the new Cyclone.
Yeah.
So Leenock kind of played off the cuff, if I recall correctly, and like went very quickly into Hydra, Viper, and they had a pretty good series overall, but he wasn't quite up to the task, I guess. If I'm recalling all these games correctly. So I don't know, I think it could be pretty even.
All right, our toast says it could be pretty even. Let's go into game 1.
Could be.
Could be. Or maybe it's not. That's what I felt like at the desk of every
Titan EX1. Leenock.
every time we do an overseas event at the analyst desk. I'm just like, well, I'm kind of just like saying, like, I'm like, well, you know, this guy's better than this guy, so he should win. But they go, hey, what do I know? I mean, upsets happen. Your turn, you talk.
Player 1. Fantasy.
I'm really enjoying tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
This is fun. It's kind of a hype group. It's actually moving really quickly. A lot of very aggressive games out of these guys.
yeah.
But fun games. Fun games. We've seen a lot of different strats tonight.
Now, how many weird games of TVZ does Fantasy have here? You know, there's certain things you can do when you try to prepare for a match like this where you say, okay, well, I'm probably not going to face a Zerg twice, so I really only have, you know, a small number of builds ready. There's some Leenock support there. The octopus. The Lean octopus. Now,
Elnock, as I call him.
Wait, what did you say?
Elnock.
Elnock, yeah.
Spanish for the knock.
Sartosa's crazy person laugh.
Elnock versus La Cucaracha. Let's bring it on. You never saw such an aggressive game.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if Fantasy really expected to actually fight a Zerg again. So I don't know if he has another weird strategy he wants to do. It'd be really funny if he did the exact same openings that he did against
Let's see. He did,
Rogue.
He did the
was,
weird 3 medevac drop. That was kind of
right.
interesting into Battle Mech.
That didn't seem like something you just say, I'm going to do it with 3 medevacs from drop behind a middle.
That's a specific build.
Yeah, but I think he also just looked at what the unit comp was and said, oh, okay, I know a trick here.
Okay. What was the other game against Rogue? It was, what was it, Tasteless? Help me out here.
No, you're on your own, dude. Nowhere does it in my contract does it say I have to help you remember every single game that happened.
I'm going to check what the map was. That's how I'll get it, Tasteless. All right, let's see here.
I can't believe I'm making you do this.
Okay. So, second map was Port Alexander.
Yeah? Can you remember?
I'm thinking.
We've had this where we get done with the broadcast and we'll go sit down and have a beer and be like, can you name what happened in half the games? And we're like, no. Like, I don't know how. Our brains don't work like that.
It's funny because later on, like the next day, I'll probably remember all of them.
Yeah.
But like while I'm sitting here and I'm like talking about all the games right in real time, I don't know why they go away.
No, it's funny. I think your brain kind of goes into a different mindset when you're casting. You like get through the game, you're going on to the next one, you're focused on the series.
I think I got to tell the referee, actually, I'm pretty sure they only played one map. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah.
That's messed up, actually. Rogue is still in the tournament, guys.
Someone tell Rogue to get back off
my God.
Get back on that bus, come back to the studio. Hellions are going to come out now. And we got the Banshee Cloak coming here. This time around, we have a Roach Warren here coming from Leenock as well. The third base is coming up. Oh, he did the battle cruisers.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The
I
most
was
remarkable
really.
strategy we had in the entire tournament. We forget like an hour into our cast.
You were about to see the weird camera switch where I'm running onto the stage with my suit coat and my shorts on. I'm like, stop! We never played Rogue's Fantasy Game 2.
You do have shorts on, man. This is weird looking at a guy sitting across from a guy with a blazer on. I think you should step up your game, though, and wear hot pants. I think is what you need to do.
Needs to get a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
Get my flip-flops going. Okay, so Cloak on the way right now. Everything looks pretty normal. Of course, can't tell quite yet what the strategy will be. Feels to me like it's going to be a third command center coming up. Oh, wow. A lot of lings being made. Against Banshee, this is not necessarily fantastic.
Yeah, the Banshee can, on paper, beat this, but it doesn't kill stuff off very quickly. Okay, he's going to go behind the wall and...
2 Banshees now. Man, that's tough.
2 Banshees banshing. Oh! That's the saddest life of a Ravager ever.
Oh my god.
He fires 1 Corrosive Bile and dies.
It's kind of funny, because when you think about the Battlecruiser game, oh, that was a good split.
Look at Leenock moving his Roaches where he's like, oh, I hate this so much.
Yeah.
They're all kind of merging back together because the pathing's too good in this game.
You look at the Battlecruiser game and how, like, if Rogue had attacked at all, he would have died. So Leenock's like, I'm going to attack. Guess what? 2 Banshees. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm still laughing about that Ravager that shot 1 Corrosive Bile and died.
Yeah.
My life was better as a Roach. Wow,
my gosh.
Fantasy.
Yeah, he's coming for it. Look at how many drones are going down. Oh. Look at him. He's killing queens.
This is just Terran porn at this point in time, okay? It's just like, all the Terran strategies get to work today.
All right, here we go. 3 Banshees. This damage output's too
All
high.
right.
I think he's just going to bust
No.
him.
That's for my dead homie, the other Ravager. All right.
I'll pull that back. Don't lose those. Those are important. Okay, the counterattack. Will the wall be down?
Let's get a shot.
Mech is
Dun,
coming
dun,
up.
dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, kind of. All right, now how much damage is this actually going to do? A lot of SCVs are going to die, but there's already so much damage being dealt at the third base.
Well, he's going to lose his hatchery over there. Like,
Right?
he's going to kill a decent amount of SCVs here.
Wait, he's not actually taking damage on the
he's
hatchery.
not. No, he's not.
Somehow the 2 tanks are the only things that live? What? Fantasy a little bit sloppy. He probably could have killed his hatchery off already.
That Spore came up. He did clear it, so it looks like he'll still get it without too much problem. Wow, the Queen going to be picked off here as well.
So we're having a hard time kind of figuring out who's about to take this.
No, I think
Okay,
it's
so
pretty much the Terran player. Kills off that third base. Huge amounts of damage. Worker count
Yeah.
is quite similar.
yeah, and Terran has mules. They can remake that pretty
And a third CC, whereas
There's like
where's
this
the
1
Ash?
tank and 1 Banshee.
It's time for them to go
We'll
home.
never back down.
Get out of here.
Oh, wow, the Queen got away.
Wow.
I have to get this creep tumor up.
Wow. Just even the edge of creep. It makes all 6 of her legs go quicker? Yeah, I don't think so. That's ridiculous. Okay, Banshee speed on the way. Continued Banshee production.
Yeah, I don't know if Zerg can recover from this, guys. This is...
It's certainly
He's also
tough.
kind of stuck just making lings and roaches.
I think the Spire isn't the worst idea you could have in a situation like this because all of the units don't shoot up. So the Banshees, like, obviously the Mutas can kind of help against that. And maybe he can pick off a few siege tanks, get something done.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad idea. Banling's Nest coming down as well. Overseer here to peek at and see if the build order he's doing is going to possibly be able to respond to this. It looks like the third base is just about to finish here for the Zerg, so Zerg's going to be back to where he needs to be. The problem is Terran's already caught up.
Only Mutas being produced. I think it's a really good choice there. I hope for Leenock's sake he can get something done with these mutas. Spending every little drop of gas that he has right now. He's got to rebuild his economy. Oh, that's going to be canceled.
Oh, this sucks for Zerg. There's nothing worse, I think, out of all the, for the race to experiences than the Zerg already behind and like just clearly not, even on bases or behind on bases, but not dead yet, and trying to come up with some wonky, wacky tech.
It's going for Infestation Pit. Trying to figure out what he wants to do with that. Oh, they disappeared. Must have killed him. Okay, keep going. No turret, no turret.
Yeah, this is a start.
Cyclones come in and ruin the party. Gonna back up.
Here come those Banshees, though. Do we have enough detection over here? This could easily snipe down a hatchery.
Ooh, gets that queen immediately. Stealing damage wherever he can now. Wow, Ravagers are having a tough time in this game, aren't they?
This is just a bad game to be a Ravager in.
I think most of the games lately are bad games that Ravagers
They are a proud unit, Artosis.
Are they?
Yes.
I hadn't realized.
We are not afraid of force fields. We are Ravagers. We are more than a roach.
Well,
any air unit that does not move, we will destroy.
That's true.
We are the mighty, we are the many, we are the Ravagers.
Coming out right now with this little group of Battlemech. A couple armories on the way. Upgrades for everyone a little bit late after all the aggression. I mean, he's getting some decent SCV kills overall, but he just doesn't have anything at home to help out, right? Eventually, Fantasy's going to come for him. Unless he comes for Fantasy first.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the problem is even though the mutas weren't, they definitely, Terran wasn't ready for it. Terran minds so much, he has so much here. I mean, how are you going to stop this?
He's
just going to kill you. Oh, man. Ravagers, again, just getting a bad end of the stick here. Bad deal for these Ravagers.
This is their moment, though. Maybe they can shine.
Oh, look at this.
Ooh, good Biles.
Ooh,
look at that.
All right, get that tank back. You don't have to take that, Ravagers.
That's why they're so proud. Sometimes they get Biles like that. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh! And they're loyal to their own, too, Artosis.
That's true.
We are the Ravagers. We will not die without a fight. All right, whatever. Look at this.
Yeah, a lot of Biles hitting.
Look at how he's corralling these Ravagers like they're cattle, man. All right.
Just wait till he serves them to his units.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what's in those supply depots? Ravager burgers. You don't want to be a Terran Marine so much now, do you?
Yeah. That gives you all sorts of weird parasites, but whatever. Okay, so now what?
Look at how much energy he has. Wow, he can drop a lot of mules.
Well, eventually he's going to come back here and finish what he started. Terran's about to spike in income here.
Ravager's still fighting with those Biles. So
GG.
The damage.
Fantasy takes game one.
Way too much damage in that early game for Leenock to hold on. He kind of did it to himself, though. Doing that Ling Roach attack against a couple Banshees. It's tough. You got to make the call sometimes to play aggressively. And this time, Fantasy had a perfect counter for it. Fantasy was skimping it all. He was going for, really quick 3rd CC or some sort of battlecruiser play. That could have been a great attack. Fortunately, it was the opposite.
What is Lee not going to do in game two? Fantasy handled that very gracefully. I mean, he's seeming to have no problem against Zerg. It's hard to imagine if Fantasy's beaten Rogue 2-0. He's already 1-0 against Leenock. How on earth is Leenock going to have a strategy that's going to kill him? Now, we've seen Leenock turn it up to 11 and tear off the knob, okay? He's done the crazy rushes before. Can he maybe all in his way into this?
Maybe.
Because let me tell you one thing, Leenock can't feel Artosis. It's shame. Let's see what happens here in
That's for
game
sure.
number 2.
게임이 시작됩니다.
I just love Leenock so much.
Ah!
13-12 time.
Come to the dark
Titan
side.
EX1, Leenock.
Forget about the late game.
This has,
Take the ladder points from your opponent.
this has some sick potential, Tasteless.
Yes.
Player 1,
Meanwhile,
Fantasy.
Fantasy's like, if I'm able to hide Widow Mines over here and then use this Banshee over there, I'll be able to beat a Zerg player. Meanwhile, back over here at Leenock's like, okay,
Meanwhile,
I need to kill him before he has an army.
Meanwhile, they run up and say, "Hey, good games, Rogue." And Rogue looks at them angrily. W, and he walks out.
All right. Look at this.
Now, how crazy will this be?
Really crazy.
Really crazy,
Like-
or just like a little bit
Like,
crazy?
capitalize the word really, like all the letters.
Oh my God!
You
Can we
don't put an
extra
exclamation-
L's?
Maybe. Now that's what we have to really debate here.
Can we just put one extra
Here's
L
what
so
you don't
that you're
do.
not
you
sure?
don't put an exclamation point, okay? That's unnecessary when you cap stuff.
It's a Baneling Nest.
That's at least a couple more L's.
Yeah. Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah.
And Fantasy, guess what? He's not SCV scouting.
Fantasy's like, most Zerg players aren't aware of a timing attack like this before. Meanwhile, Leenock's like, listen, they do this at the bottom of the ladder and it still wins.
This is.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Is he just gonna start the reactor? This actually could just win. Let's see.
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? The Reaper's out.
Yeah, he waited
It's
for
like,
that to
I
go.
better go check to see what his expansions are at. Meanwhile, one SCV
Oh my.
says he's like, boy, it sure is hard work building an entire command center by yourself. But hey, I mean, anything for my boss, Fantasy.
Fantasy, look out!
Look out, Fantasy! He's cheesing us!
Oh, he gets on top of the depot. He's on top of the depot. Fantasy's in so much trouble.
Oh my God!
Left the depot,
Oh my
Fantasy.
God! Oh no! It's their corner down there! Oh no! Artosis! Oh! Oh no! They're gonna try to run to the top.
Look at
Oh.
him just sit there. Oh, and the Baneling's waiting. He waited for it.
Oh wow!
What? That was a misclick.
No, that wasn't supposed to happen. One Hellion. Can you do it, one Hellion?
The Reaper's back.
What happened? This place was completely put together before I left.
You guys can't do anything
all
without
my
me.
friends are dead.
He's got 0 workers. He can do this.
GG.
His supply was 2 there.
Why is everybody not just doing this in every game? Guys, stop trying to play long games. What are you doing?
If
Fantasy's so
Leenock-
salty. Fantasy's like, okay.
If Leenock gets to the round of 16 with 4
Yeah.
all-ins, how amazing is that going to be?
Yeah. Wow. Fantasy's like, I cannot believe I'm getting cheesed out like this. Leenock's like, all right, I'm going to make my pull even earlier this time. I don't care what you think about me. My name is Leenock. You think this is funny? It's not.
Whoa, that's a really good song.
Yeah. Boo, you don't even play the game right. Shut up. I'm in round of 16 at GSL. Who are you? He's got a point.
Yeah,
He's got a point.
he's got a point.
He came to win. That much is clear.
Hey,
Where's your cool strategies now, Fantasy?
the river was the right card. He was pretty sure it would be.
Are you feeling lucky, Leenock? Let's find out. We're going to the last game of the
게임이
night.
시작됩니다.
Titan EX1, Leenock.
Woo! Some Leenock cheers. Some big fans of a Baneling bus here.
Player 1, Fantasy.
Fantasy. He's nervous now. He's still thinking like Fantasy. He's like, they'll never expect 2 battle cruisers this early on.
He's like,
You got to use that anime protagonist voice.
Yeah, that's what I
the
was
one
just
that's
gonna
like
say.
inside of his head that he says that. If I train the hardest and practice the most, I should be able to win the tournament.
it's all true. I'm just so excited to see what both of them are going to
Yeah.
do. Either of them could do just about anything.
Now, if I'm Fantasy, I'm expecting just an all-in from here. Is Lee not going to go for a Nidus? You know how some people say, what's that expression? He's got a Midas touch.
Yeah.
Well, Leenock might have a Nidus touch.
Ooh.
Kurtosis.
What
People are like, what does that mean? Is everything he touches turns into a Nidus worm? Like, yeah, it's weird. It's actually a curse. It's like a Stephen King book. It's like really weird. It's a really weird thing to have happen. Was that the thing with Midas? Everything he touched turned to gold?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything he touched.
Okay.
So like he couldn't eat and stuff.
Yeah. Well, he could eat gold.
Yeah, I guess he
Yeah,
could actually. Should touch his own teeth. Gold can't destroy gold, right?
Yeah. it's
Chew
just-
right through that gold.
It's just like Time Cop, where the same matter can't touch the same matter.
Thing is, if you turn your whole body to gold, you don't need nutrients anyways. Sounds
Yeah.
fine to me.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, that poor drone. So wrecked.
Oh, man, he gets popped in the air. Not a bad start here for Fantasy.
Okay, where does Fantasy go to from here? It looks like it's a 2-on-1, right?
Seems like it. Unless he's going to do something really weird.
No, it must be.
The thing with Fantasy is I start to get reluctant to try to say what he's going to do because he's already proven he can do a lot of things that we just nobody's even touching his Terran.
Well, I mean, there's no other real build that you'd be doing with this, so it should be a 2-on-1. It's just the question becomes, how does he follow up, right? Is it the macro follow-up with 2 eBays into a 3rd CC? Is it a more aggressive follow-up where you might add more barracks, make some siege tanks, ferry them over, keep the push going? Very micro-intensive build, kind of an older build as well.
There's Stim coming.
You know,
I think Fantasy
actually,
is... Yeah, go ahead, please.
I just want to mention, this is making a little bit more sense to me now. The Reaper denied the normal 3rd base location. A 2-on-1 will be more powerful against this 3rd, because first off, you have a high ground just above it that you can come down off of, and then also you can pick up and go into the main base in seconds. Whereas if the 3rd is at the other location, you can fly to the natural only, but you have to be like behind it, and that's closer for them to run to, whereas from the 3rd base to the main base is really far. So that one Reaper denying the 3rd being in its normal location should make the power of this 2-on-1 a lot stronger.
Also, let's not forget that Fantasy has been doing nothing but, anime protagonist builds in this tournament. He's just been like kind of innovating and showing that he understands the game so well that he can play around it. I think maybe just going for something like this is going to throw Leenock off as well. I mean, he's...
Yeah.
Fantasy's branded himself so heavily today
Yeah.
on kind of having these kind of crazy, sophisticated strategic openings that I think just kind of going like this.
He's not showing many Marines. We see a bunch of spores going up. We don't see the extra queens being built or the evolution chamber, which are the normal things to do against this. Let's see when he sees it. Okay, the Overlord might have seen that fly out.
Any tech in here at all? Nope.
Okay, 1 eBay siege tank, so it seems like he's going to keep on a lot of pressure with this.
The Baneling's Nest is halfway done. Stim just now finishes here. The Reaper will be comboed in with this attack. We have tanks coming out. There are going to be combat shields being upgraded as this attack is going on, and they're going to be finishing actually pretty quickly.
It's kind of funny to me
Upgrade's not too long to get.
that he came in from this angle.
I was surprised as well.
It's like there's nothing over here. You already denied that. I'm
Yeah.
surprised he didn't go over to the 3rd, because that seems so much more pushable, considering he's making siege tanks 2 in a row now, adding more racks before a 3rd
Yeah,
CC.
it appears that he's setting this up to be a push later on.
Yeah, like that. See right there, like if he's removing creep over here, it becomes easier and easier for him to set up siege tanks there and push down. It seemed so obvious that this was what he was setting up for, but then he hit the wrong side. You really got to get rid of creep.
He's going to come in on this side. There are some queens and lings to defend.
Yeah, of course. He's like, I know you're going to attack here because this is where you're supposed to
This
attack.
is the spot you want to be at.
Yeah. Okay, Linux going to back up there. Getting off creep, getting dangerous.
More and more lings are being produced. Combat Shields is just now finishing up.
+1 on the way.
Do we have that push coming from Terran? Yes, we do.
But now there is some creep on top of that high ground.
Oh my God! Oh, whoa, that was so close.
He just
that
happened
was
to be
so
looking
close.
back there. That is a big deal. Okay, sets up the siege tank here. Not exactly where I expected, but it's still going to work.
I clenched my butt muscles so much I almost pulled a muscle when those lings almost got inside that natural.
Well, that would have been really deadly. There were not even any tanks to tank the damage.
Yeah. Okay, it's just going to work. He's going to come here for the surround.
He has Zergling speed, and they're actually pretty well spread.
Oh, he doesn't quite have enough. These lings are going to be hitting those tanks. So the tanks are gone, but the infantry is still there.
+1 range attack done here. But the Carapace not quite. Still on the way. Just the fact that he has Baneling speed is so helpful, though. Fourth base is going to be finishing for Leenock momentarily. He's also going to get a macro hatchery coming. Getting ready for that hive tech. Carapace is done.
I think Leenock might actually just be ready for this.
Yeah.
Again, small number of lings just to try to pick off any stray units here.
Looks for his in. It's not there. Just see himself out.
With those lings outside that that base, they can keep trying to intercept over and over again.
Okay, sets up here. He is on creep, so this is actually just slightly dangerous.
The surround is happening.
A lot of Banelings rolling in right now.
Oh my God. Leenock's doing it. He's starting to overpower Fantasy. Okay, guys, Fantasy's on 2 bases right now. Leenock is up on 4. So this is like, this is dangerous, man.
You know, there's been just a few mistakes here from Fantasy, I feel
Yeah.
like. He cleared creep on the wrong side. Right there, we saw him siege up on creep to attack a hatchery after an already somewhat failed attack against someone who has Baneling speed and lots of hatches and lots of queens. I feel like there are just a few things that are not being played out right here. And it's making me scared for him because I don't see a great continuation plan for him, right? His +1 armor is about to finish, but I didn't check. Maybe he has an armory, maybe not. But it's not like I'm looking at his production and getting overwhelmed or his economy and getting overwhelmed.
Another drop coming in here. This is also, the way that he's coming in for this drop really signals how bad shape Fantasy is in. He's no longer able to push, so now he's going to try to get some more surprise type damage in here by hoping the Zerg is over defending at the front, and therefore he gets some tech or some queens or some workers. But already, look, he's going to have to pick up. He just does the maximum amount of damage he can against those lings. And by the way, you're always happy as Zerg to trade lings in against Marines. You're fine doing that. You know what? You just, oh my, ow. Oh!
Man.
It's like that fan sucks the medevac in there and kills it.
A bird just flies into it. Just a bird on the map.
It crashes into an endangered bird and that's it. Some kid has just been hitting golf balls with an open field and that hits it.
Okay, there's an Ultralisk Cavern on the way, which is kind of a cool tech choice that we see here.
Is this necessary though? Should he be playing more standard?
For Leenock?
Yeah, well,
I like this because I think it's pretty clear that he's going to overwhelm Fantasy, and he's been working specifically on Carapace and melee upgrades. So both those are going to fit with the Ultra really, really well. And the thing is, I think you don't necessarily, if it doesn't work, then you just switch your tech route because you're not going to take any more damage as Ultras come out. Fantasy over here, he's adding a second factor now. Another command center is on the way.
building's blowing up.
Yeah.
Another good pickup. Terran really not able to stay anywhere on the ground. Once the Zerg army gets there, the damage is already dealt. Ooh. Oh, this is actually kind of cool. He's just going to get the hatch.
Wow. Hey,
Yeah, that's not
I
normal.
actually was not sure that was going to kill that like that.
It looked kind of funny, right? They were so surrounded. But clearly,
Look at all these upgrades.
Fantasy had the math on that down perfectly. Ultra's coming. Burrow almost done, by the way. It actually just now is done, excuse me.
Valen Landmine's definitely one of Leenock's specialties. The Ultra's popping out as well. It's going to get a little bit scary. Like, just the strength of Leenock's army is getting really, really large. We don't have any real anti-Ultralisk units here. There's no more Otters. There's just Mines.
I thought you said there's no more Otters. We've never had Otters in this game. He's going to push through up here. And again, I think, well, hold on. We got a surround coming here at the bottom. Fantasy's kind of making this work considering he's had a bad hand dealt to him.
Yeah, his harassment's doing very well right
Yeah,
now.
considering his push totally failed, I'm really impressed with what he's able to pull off here.
Oh, look at that, the unburrow. I guess we didn't get to see it, but those Zerglings were hidden there. Still great micro here from Fantasy. Continues his upgrades, continues to keep on the pressure, but Leenock, he is growing a little bit here. That's not a good location attacking. You have to be careful attacking with Ultralisks. Those siege tanks can pulverize them. Oh my god, it's the cinematic. Except the Terrans are going to win it. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, Leenock, I don't even know what's going on. It's like he watched his army die there.
Yeah,
the supply difference is insane now. I think this game, it's like everything just started to fall apart. I don't know how else to describe it.
Well, Fantasy certainly did some things very well with this harassment. It's hard to attack in with Ultras, but once you have those Ultras, you just, if you continue working on spreading creep and stuff, their frontal attacks have a very hard time. He really needed to stay in a defensive position. And now we're seeing Corruptors and Ultras being made, so that's going to be his anti-air. Certainly he will not be going for Broodlord Ultra. As Nestea showed us long ago, it's probably the worst composition ever created in any StarCraft game.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Broodlord Ultra is just hilariously silly. It doesn't do anything. You're like, wow, these are the best units. I'm going to get them both. It's like, no, don't do that.
Well, Terran's pretty much on top now. I mean, as Fantasy maxes out, he should have an opening to try to do a timing attack and maybe get a kill off here.
I tell you, if Leenock loses this, and it's looking more and more likely, I think he's really going to be kicking himself.
Yeah, he was actually holding his own in a standard game here against Fantasy, but it seems like he's just kind of outlasted him. Especially with that one attack. That looked weird when the attack came and there was like just two Ultras still taking damage. I'm surprised that he even decided to hit into that moment. I think he completely miscalculated where Fantasy was at in this game.
Maybe you didn't realize the amount of tanks there.
Something.
I'm sure he felt good about having the Ultras because, you know,
I mean, I'm
that
sure
would have won any battle on creep.
you could have this where you will rewatch a replay of your own game and say, oh, I was way behind.
Every day.
You know, I had no idea. I thought I was actually like kind of ahead here. Now, Leenock still has a decent amount of the map. He's engulfing the bottom left here as well. I'm just worried because I feel like now Fantasy should just have enough to come in here. Again, though, I'm also surprised Fantasy keeps splitting his army up.
Yes.
I'm like, what are you doing, man? Just put them all together and go in there and attack.
Well,
You're supposed to have the army that the Zerg can't kill.
I think that that's a really important thing to point out because he's still on this harassment-based set of units. It's like a lot of Marines, Mines, and Medivacs. But once they have Ultras out, if they're utilizing them defensively, it's really hard to kill them. Like Ultras, Lings, and Banes together on creep, it moves so quickly. It surrounds you so quickly, and there's no obstructions. It's really obstructions that kill off Ultras. Okay, it looks like he's going for Liberator range. Starting to add in quite a few Liberators as well. That was a lot.
Yeah.
13.
Some more where that came from, too. Oh, this is just dirty. Look at this.
Yeah, he's going to lure
Hey,
him down.
come at me. I don't have that much stuff.
Wow.
I
do have that much
stuff. Sucker.
And the Ultras kill it all.
Yeah. We're Ultras and we don't care. Another attack coming up here. Oof.
I love the Widowmine usage.
Look at this.
Just really well done.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wow. Oh, my God.
Oh, that was actually very nice fungal. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, again.
So this is just going to keep happening here. Oh, my God. It gets all the Banelings.
Oh, he needs to stop running all
Stop
this
doing
way.
that. They're called Overseers.
Oh,
Ow, 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 ow.
so inefficient by Leenock here.
I feel like Leenock's in a panic right now. Like, he knows he maybe can kind of pull this together, but it's like he's putting out fires everywhere. And
I think if he just puts his nose to the grindstone right now, gets some more anti-air, gets his creep spread moving a little bit outwards, he could run around and do some damage, but he keeps like running into the same location. There's so many Widowmines. Fantasy just playing kind of a very tactical game here.
Fantasy's going to try to come in again. Thing is, Leenock's actually caught up in supply and now has a lot of tools like Infestors that can make you win a fight without even trading. Uh-oh. He's none the wiser. Get ready for that Infestor Beach Ball.
That could be good.
Oop.
Oh, man.
You've been slimed.
Until these mines hit all your Banelings.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought Fantasy could have closed this out sooner if he just kept more of his army together. I think he was still doing that kind of harass style that allowed him to get this far in this game, but, you know, I think at some point you want to actually try to just fight the... I guess he doesn't fully realize the lead that he had back there.
The harass style seems to be working in many ways. But it's also allowing Leenock to continue to build a strong army. Now he's got that Broodlord Ultra.
It's a thing Artosis said
Seriously.
you shouldn't get.
Yeah, I tell you, we've seen some really funny games back in the old days when people try to get these two units together. They don't cover each other at all. Stuff on the ground is what Broodlords counter. And guess what Ultras counter?
Stuff in the air.
Yes. Oh,
Got
wait,
it.
they do work
No.
perfect together. You're right.
Nah, see? Well, he's going to try to push here. This is a very old school Leenock style push. We always had Leenock either even on bases or slightly behind with Broodlords pushing out. Ooh.
Okay, so the two Corruptors having a little bit of a hard time against the Vikings. 3 now. Okay, starting to gain him. Ooh, good fungal going down.
He's
One
got
of
to be
his
careful. I
facets
mean,
as
this
well.
is a lot of Vikings. If he can do some more damage to this, he can then take out all those Broodlords. There's really no easy way for those Broodlords to get back home.
Yeah. Those Ultras right now, they're holding the cowbells for the Broodlords. They're ready, Tasteless, to make the difference.
Okay, the upper right base has been destroyed. I don't think Terran's going to be able to reclaim that anytime soon. We're in an arms race here of Corruptors versus Vikings. Both sides are trying to get as many of the air units as possible here. Again, if the Terran wins the air arms race, then Terran will be able to kill the Broodlords, which will ultimately allow him to win the game. But so far, Leenock pushed in there, he took out that base, and now he's backing up.
Well, Leenock's got a very scary army. Nuke on the way now for Fantasy. More and more Vikings as well. Finally, a Viper coming out. Parasitic can do real wonders against a clump of Vikings.
Starting to hit some of these Broodlords that are in the back. Oh man,
my
this
God,
is
that's a lot of Liberation
Yeah.
Zones. The Ultra's chasing everything down. In the meantime, Broodlords, slowly but surely, they're coming over.
So those Corruptors were, they had to fight the Liberators, but a lot of the army still did so much damage here. Okay, now I think we're going to have another hatchery snipe. Again, Fantasy unable to micro on all fronts. That's one of the more difficult things to do here.
Okay, now look at the production tab. Lings, Ultras, and Fester. I could see this being a very interesting and cool switch if he continues down that road, so that eventually the mass air, the mass anti-air rather, that Fantasy has, can get run over by like a Ling Ultra type of composition.
I'm worried that too much is getting poked out here for the Zerg on the map. The only base that Zerg has left, I think with minerals, is 12 o'clock.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
I think so.
That's painful.
Well, what do you do now as Zerg? I mean, you kind of, there's a funny thing that happens when you have Broodlords out, right? Where you're kind of stuck with them. You got to make use of them. Wherever they are, you have to make kind of play that position to your advantage. One thing also about Broodlords is that it's allowed Terran to basically not have to worry about defending the bottom of the map.
Yeah, it is definitely very slow moving this way. We need to see some spells going out in these Vikings, so come on. You have, oh, he needs to. Okay, good parasitic bomb going down. That one splits off quickly though. Good micro from Fantasy.
Can these Broodlords push all the way in here? Because the longer these Broodlords are here, the more damage is going to be dealt in this side of the map. Oh my god, did he just actually dismantle Fantasy? Is this the beginning of the end? Infested Terrans signaling to us that Zerg's going to hold his ground over here.
Yeah, throwing down those infested Terrans does help with the Liberator. The Viking, or the Corruptors rather, not getting that many shots.
I think he did it. I think he's actually starting to
Lenok's not mining much, though. This is the type of situation that Fantasy just won't leave, and you might get sloppy thinking he's dead, because he never leaves.
Look at how slowly Lenok's minerals are moving right now.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have that much. Maybe if Fantasy could just
are
muster
coming.
enough. Oh, man.
This is a nail biter right here. Oh, that fungal. Oh, that fungal growth.
Oh my God! This hatchery just got up. That's his like last hope as far as bases go.
He still has some units. So funny. The mine's right next to the Banelings. Drop right there. Oh. Who's gonna win this? It's Lenok? Lenok has so little supply right now.
I don't know that Lenok can attack in again, Artosis. I think that the Broodlord count is too low. Now, Infestors make it a lot more difficult to call because, you know, maybe he gets some good spells off or a drop over here. Another expansion that Zerg really needs to get up and running.
With this many, he doesn't seem to have fungals right now. He's just very low on energy. And look at this nice micro. He finally gets a fungal off, but I think he lost 2 of the ultras during that.
Okay, another base is going to get wiped out here. This time at 12 o'clock. Terran is re-expanded and reclaimed all of the other bases.
Okay, he ends up clearing this. That actually had like the least minerals, so I guess that one doesn't matter as much. It's really that pocket expansion. Fantasy is just having command centers everywhere right now. What's he got left for minerals? He's getting pretty low. That's his real mining base right there.
Oh, no.
Gosh, these Widow Mines have really been a pain.
What an interesting game this has been. Zerg's beginning to stretch out to the bottom here. Oh, Terran's already on top of it. Does he not know about that mine at all? I guess he just didn't see that.
Yeah, I think he just didn't notice. There's so much.
That's a really good spotter, by the way, considering that they're very low, both of them, on like army and stuff. Just being able to see what they have and where they're at is so. Oh! No way!
Ouch. Okay, here comes this run-in. Oh, that fungal, amazing. Oh, perfect second fungal as well.
Yeah, beautifully done. Good way to take away. Chunk out some of that army.
Lings and an Ultra on the way still. Oh my god, a couple very low health units left over. Spread them so a fungal doesn't hit both. Oh, here comes Lings. Okay, cleaned up.
Oh my god.
Now the time
is just not quite over those. So that'll only be able to spot, but I think this army might be too strong, guys.
That's a lot of mines.
Yeah. Oh man, as
oh,
they
no. 3 full energy Vipers falling in a matter of seconds.
Wow. I think this is actually this tug of war these two had is finally coming to an end. Such a back and forth game, but I think ultimately it's going to be Fantasy who's coming out on top as the push continues to just tear through.
Oh, the greatest fungals of life! If only he had units.
Yep, I see Lenok shaking his head. He's realizing this game might have just slipped between his fingertips.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, just can't quite do it with what he's got left over here. What a crazy game though, very good one.
I'm really curious to see how far Fantasy can get because he's already now made it to the round of 16. And I just saw Fantasy, like fist pump. Like I think he just realized, yep, I've won. Okay, there it is, GG.
A big moment for Fantasy. That round of 32 can be really, really tough when you first start hitting the GSL. Here he goes to that round of 16. Seems like he's overwhelmed even.
Yeah, he's even emotional. Well, you know, he's finally back. He's had a long career. And, you know, taking on a player like Leenock, again, I think a lot of people thought Fantasy was going to die first in this game. But as you can see, man, he did it. We're going to have a quick interview now and see how Fantasy is feeling now that he has managed to move on to the round of 16, where so many other players we thought were going to move on did not. That is going to be translated by the one and only G-Clef. And we'll be going to that interview, I think, in a second here. Yep.
네, 2015년 시즌 2 16강 이후 무려 4년
And since the
만에
round of 16 from season 2 of 2015,
번역도 있었는데요.
and
정말
we went to the
오랜만에
military service and he came
정명훈
back.
선수 만나보겠습니다.
We have Fantasy
축하드립니다.
going to that round of 16. Congratulations.
방금 언급한 것처럼 정말 오랜 시간이 걸렸습니다.
Just like what I just said, it's been some time for you to advance to the round of 16.
처음에는
How does it
준비를
feel?
좀 잘해왔다 생각해서
At first, I thought I had the right practice
마지막 경기는 되게
to be done,
불리했거든요.
but the final game, of course, I was actually losing in a lot of moments, and I thought this was it. This was it for the moment, but I kept on playing the game and I came back.
정말
And
포트
by
알렉산더
having this
굉장한
hard of a game,
난전이었던 것 같아요. 무한
makes me feel so
집중으로
much better going
게임하시는
into
것
the round of
같은데
16.
어떠셨어요?
원래 준비했던
seemed
컨셉도
like
아니었고
All the
준비했던
preparation,
상황도 하나도
it seemed like you took some time perfecting your form,
모르겠어요. 좀 초반에 말려서
Took me
이
some
상황에
time.
하게 됐는데
and at the
다행히도
beginning of today,
분명히도
I
많이
actually
해본
had
상황은
some
아닌 것 같아서
weird
싸움이었는데.
moments of the game.
좀 제가 더
But also Leenock, I think he also had some weird moments of the game
정명훈
too.
선수가
So,
복귀
and
후에
the one
이렇게
who came
멋진
back better
실력을
from that moment,
보여주시는 것
I think, was
자체가
able to
참
win.
대단하다고 생각이 됩니다. 복귀하고 실력을 끌어올리는 과정이 좀 힘들지 않으셨어요?
I think it's great that you came back
좀
here
포기하고
and
싶은
actually
순간도
advanced.
많았어요. 사실
Wasn't
얼마
it
전까지만 해도
really
좀
hard and
힘들었는데
tough to have all that practice to come up to
하는
stage now?
동안은 멘탈 잘 잡고 열심히
Yeah, it's been really
해보자는
hard to
생각으로
practice
준비했는데
all
오늘
that
이렇게
amount.
결과가 좋아서
But
앞으로
just
더
having
힘낼
this
수
kind of
있을 것
result, I think
네.
it
군
all
입대
just
전과
waves out all
비교해서
the stress that I had
폼은
before.
다 올라왔다고
And from this moment on, I
생각하시나요?
can be better.
아,
Do you think
아직
you're
많이
up to the
부족한
final
것
form?
같고요.
Your perfection of
사실
form?
오늘
How far do you
또
think?
오늘
you've
조
made it
난이도가 16강이랑 비슷하다 생각해서
I think
16강도
the
잘할 수
group
있겠다
that I
생각했는데
had today is about the hard.
해보니까 더 준비해야
It's
될것
about as hard
같아요.
as what I'm going to get in
준비
round of
잘해서
16.
이제 진짜 16강도
If I
올라가도록
practice
하겠습니다.
really hard, I
네.
think I
오늘
can.
첫 경기와
I can do it once
최종전
again in
다
round of 16.
멋진 저그전을 통해서 진출을 이뤄내셨는데요.
Yeah, you had a
마지막
lot
이
of
바이오닉 쫄깃쫄깃했던
TVZ games.
경기에 비해서는 메카닉 경기에서 굉장한 안정감을 느꼈습니다.
And of course, you had a lot of
저그전
bio
메카닉
for the
많이
final view, but
쓰시나요?
your mech builds
좀
seem to
반반을
be working a lot better. Against
뭐
Zerg,
마지막에
which do you think is
준비했던 게
a better
다행이긴
one?
했어요. 근데 그 상황이 좀 예상치 못해서
Depending on the
평소보다 못한 것
situation,
같은데
I think I have to switch in the
뭐 남은
middle,
기간 동안 더 열심히 하겠습니다.
and I think
네.
I have to try really hard until the
선수에게
final
썼던
moment.
그 패스트 전투 순양한 빌드 정말 완벽한
And of course, you
카운터가
had the
됐죠.
quick
그 빌드를
battle
어떻게
cruiser
꺼내게
build
되신
in
거예요?
one of the games. How did you come up with that
하루
to
종일
starport?
빌드 생각만 했어요. 뭘 쓰면 좋을까.
There were a few days I was
분석을
just thinking
하면서
about the
생각을
builds all day long. What
예전에 그
strategy should I
재선이가
do? What
썼던
build should I
빌드를
do?
쓰면 좋을 것 같더라고요. 그래서 썼는데 오늘 운 좋게 상황까지 좋아서
And there was
너무 쉽게 이긴 것
some
같아요.
time, and I was thinking about it, and I
빠짐없이
think I
다
just had the right
보고
moment, and I
계셨네요.
just used
네, 뭐
the
모든
strategy,
경기 다 보고
and it just came
아직
out all right.
배운 입장이라 네, 다 보고
I'm still learning. I'm still
네,
watching a lot of the
초반
matches.
정명훈 선수가 배우는 입장이라고 하시니까 재밌네요.
Yeah.
돌아온 정명훈
Fantasy
선수
says he's still
얼마나
learning.
활약하실지가 궁금한데
And of course, moving on to the
정명훈
right
선수의
next
목표는
set
어떤
of
걸지
matches.
궁금하거든요.
Where do you see yourself heading to?
진짜
Your goal
이번에
for the
준비하면서
season?
느낀 건데 어떻게든 8강만 가면은
I actually want
제가
to go to
1대1로
the round of
준비하는
8,
거 자신 있거든요.
and
그래가지고
once I go to round of 8, I think I'm really good at
네.
preparing against a
그걸
specific player.
통과하면은
I think that's my first goal, and I think past that moment, I think I can climb up higher,
그렇군요.
even all the
자,
way to the championship
오늘
spot.
정명훈
I
선수의
think it's possible.
팬분들이 굉장히 많이 오셨습니다.
Of course, we had a lot of
팬분들께도
your
마지막으로
fan
한
fantasy
말씀 부탁드릴게요.
at the venue.
네,
And
오늘
final words for the fans.
되게 아는 사람들도 많이 오고
There were a
팬분들도
lot
많이
of friends
오셨어요.
and the
그리고
people who I actually know
군 동기들
at the venue.
후배들 다 왔는데
Also, my friends from the
덕분에
military came
진짜
down to the venue too.
집중력 발휘해서 이긴 것 같고
And I think that was also a part of the reason why I was able to win today. And I wish you guys come back for the next match too.
군 동기들까지 오셨다고 하네요. 다시 한번 진출 축하드리겠습니다.
It's great having so many friends. Congratulations
네, 이렇게
again.
돌아온
And
정명훈
let's
선수까지
go back to
만나봤는데요. 다시
Tosis
한번
and
2조 최종 정리
Tasteless.
확인해
But mostly
보겠습니다.
tasteless. All right, welcome back, guys. We are going to have to wrap it up. What a great day of great games.
It was a really good day of games. Like, the Group of Death definitely delivered for me today. Sometimes we have one and it's like, remember the Group of Death last season where, like, TY smashed, like, Sue, who smashed Gumiho, who smashed Rogue or something like that? I forget what it was, but it was like, sometimes that happens. It didn't happen here. Well, it happened a little bit here, but not all the way here. Good games tonight. Worthwhile night at GSL.
When we have good games, I think yes. When we don't have good games, I think no.
Thank you, Tasteless. You add so much. When Tasteless says memes, I say yes. When Tasteless says old memes, I say no.
That too. That too. What is this kind of catchy song we had at the end? Ooh. This song plays when we have good games. You know what plays when we have bad games? It's the song that we start the games to. Baby.
All right, tomorrow is an insanely awesome group. We have Trap, Scarlet, Keen, and Hero. Scarlet always seeming to run into Keen and Hero. It's like, it's getting kind of crazy at this point, but that should be a very fun night. See if
Also,
Scarlet can make another
Trap
run here.
wearing a blue vest.
That's good. They look good. Same vest that
Why did we dress Hero like that?
we're stylish here
Yeah.
at the GSL. You watch, in like 10 years, all the kids will
Sure.
be dressing like that, Tasteless.
I'm sure the players were thrilled to wear those clothes and take
yeah,
those photos.
for sure.
They probably thought, oh, thank God, now I can post this on Facebook. Is what they
Yeah.
thought. Yeah, I mean, what a great what a great set of games we have here. Very cool to see that Fantasy's moving on. Yeah, I mean, I'm in a great mood. Again, a big shocker though that Rogue dies. Did not expect that to happen. He was the player I was most confident was actually going to advance.
Okay, don't forget, if you have a ticket and you're here, keep it. The raffle's at the end. And again, a big shout out to that Siege tank with over 30 kills. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
This is my world.
Let's make it count. I must practice stories. Next, GSL Season 2. Renaissance.